Hey everyone, Brad Hirsh here. I'm the Director of Paddling Programs at Sultana Education Foundation, and I am out here right on Langford Creek at Broadneck Landing. And what I'm going to do today is go out for a little bit of an exploration and show you some directions that you can do from Broadneck Landing to check out Langford Creek. It's really at a great position because there's the East Fork of Langford Creek, and then there's also the West Fork of Langford Creek, and this kind of is right where they meet. And this is an opportunity to go explore some really cool habitats and some really cool parts of the Chester River watershed here and the Chesapeake Bay watershed as well. So I'm really excited to have you with me. Before we go, we want to make sure that we're checking out a few things about our gear, okay? So first, we have our kayak here. We have our paddle. We have, for me, my extra large life jacket because I'm a big hoss. Make sure that we also, even though it's a little bit of an overcast day, that we also have our water bottle. I also have two things here. In the orange bag, I have a first aid kit that won't get wet or swamped in our dry bag. And then also, I have just a random use dry bag as well, where I put my car keys and also where I put my lunch for today. So a few things to know about Broadneck Landing is that the paved road basically ends, and then they have a little bit of pavement that at high tide kind of goes into the water. Right now we see low tide here, so it's actually pretty far out. An important thing to remember about this landing and this space is that right now we can kind of see some nice gravelly kind of ground that if this was high tide you could walk your kayak out just a little bit and then you'd be off after getting in a little bit of the water. The thing is, right beyond the tide here, there's a drop off into some serious Chester River muck. So you just want to be prepared for that as you think about it. A few other things to think about from the landing here, that if you were to go out straight and to the right, there's a sandbar a little bit or off to your right in the visual here, and you'll run around there. You can always go out and around there, but that's just something to remember. And then if you start to move over in this direction, you can see the rules for this area. Please remember to obey all rules in the area. But you can kind of see going up the East Fork of Langford Creek in that direction. And then over here by the sandbar that I mentioned, you can also check out, that's the direction towards the West Fork of Langford Creek, and also out towards where the creek meets the Chester River and then on to the Chesapeake Bay. And, ooh, look, I think right up there in the distance you can see an osprey. So this is an example of some really cool wildlife that's in this area. Okay, so I've rounded the corner that I mentioned with the sandbar earlier, and I'm headed down creek towards the area where it meets the river, and you can kind of see up ahead, straight ahead. You probably can't see it through this, but you can kind of see where the two forks of Langford Creek meet over there, and there's an island that will be kind of our goal here called Cacaway Island. Okay, so I've reached my goal, Cacaway Island, and what I'm going to do is, you can kind of see there's a marina over there, and up this way is headed up the West Fork of Langford Creek. Pretty cool. So I'm going to circumnavigate it. Okay, on the north shore of Cacaway Island, we can see some Canada geese having a good old time. You can hear them. See them quite often here. Okay, so I've reached the southern end of the Cacaway Island. You can see kind of an older duck blind out there, and you can also see the way out to the Chester River. So I'm going to continue on around, and I'll check in just a little bit. Okay, so right here, this is the northern point of Cacaway Island. Really cool feature. You can see the sandbar coming out right over here at the end, but it actually continues underwater all the way to the mainland over there near that boathouse. And it's a really narrow pathway that's maybe about 3 feet across, and you can drop down almost about 5 to 6 or 7 feet on each side if you're not on that sandbar. So a really nice feature about this really cool little place. Okay, well, that's the end of the paddle. I just got back to Broadneck Landing, okay, and had a wonderful time. A few things to think about on any of these trips in the Chesapeake Bay area. First, you want to think about what the tide is doing. Second, you want to think about what the wind is doing. So for example, today, on the way out, I was fighting the wind quite a bit. And I was like looking forward to that because I wanted a little bit of a workout and something along those lines. But if you are in for like an easier paddle, make sure you take that stuff into account, okay? Well, that is about it. And thank you for coming on a short little, oh, one more thing. So this paddle was under 2 miles. It was a short, easy paddle. It would be a great paddle if you were thinking about like an afternoon paddle right after work, or even a morning one as well, to be able to just check everything out, get a little bit of exercise in, get your daily dose of nature, and yeah, it'd be great. So with that, it was wonderful to go on this kayak and share that with you. Have a great day.